So, recently I found out that there was an ending to season 1 of Legion that involved David getting sucked into this orb, possibly another dimension or universe or something, and he gets floated away. And Sid is freaking out. I did not realize that that existed until most recently when I started doing research on season 2. Now I feel like an idiot because, with all these, after the credits kind of bonus scenes of what's to come, you'd think that something would be after the credits of this series. You'd think. Well, now I know for the future to watch to the very end until it stops. Not that when it hits the credits that it's done. So I rewatched up until the latest commercial break, just as a refresher for season 2. So here are some generic thoughts and theories and feelings about what to expect, or what I'm expecting for season 2. So from what I heard, or read rather, and seen in the trailers and all this stuff for season 2, that the Shadow King is essentially taking over everyone's minds. That's making them chatter, which is you can't hear that. It's like a kind of noise. So with that in mind, rewatching up until the last commercial break, comes back from commercial and David wakes up and he sees that everyone else, kind of got knocked out. He's checking on everyone, all that fun stuff. Okay, credits roll, last scene pops up, and it could be just a coincidence, but I have a theory that they foreshadowed into what was to come. So, knowing what I know, that this is chattering for season 2, that's going to be one of the main focuses of stuff, I suppose. As the little orb sucks David in and kind of floats away off screen, you hear this as you would for chattering, as you do in the season 2 trailer. Foreshadowing, perhaps? Perhaps the machine is making that noise? I don't know. But I'm very intrigued by it. So, yay foreshadowing, I guess. So there's that. And if I didn't already say that I was excited, I'm even more excited the fact that the season 2 trailer actually dropped. And I know we're about 2.5 weeks away from the premiere. And I'm super stoked about it. So what I kind of hope doesn't happen, but I know they have to have it in the series, in any series. There has to be a love interest. There has to be more than just general sex appeal on the screen. So Sid and David, so David's going to be gone, and it seems like, years pass and they have to piece together his mind. So we're going to play a few episodes probably into that, which is, okay, fine, that's fine. He disappears. He has to know what happens. He has to know who sucked him in and then how he got out. But as far as the trailer, every trailer I've seen, you see Sid kind of leaning against a wall and she's like, he's my man. Okay, I'm so over this love story. I am so over it. Maybe because I'm not a huge fan of her character. I don't know. I'm over it. But rewatching the last bit of the last episode of season 1, I did have a thought that are both Carries actually in season 2? Only one Carrie shows up in one of the teasers, or maybe it's in the actual trailer for season 2. And obviously, if something happens to one, the other, if something happens to Girl Carrie, Guy Carrie feels it, but is Girl Carrie still around? I didn't see her in any of the trailers, so I kind of love them. So we'll see how that happens, how that plays out. As far as the Shadow King goes, I'm glad that Lenny's going to be still around, or Benny, or however you want to refer to her as. I'm glad that she's still around. However, I'm interested to see how the new Shadow King, played by a guy, is gonna kind of interact with that. Do we have Lenny because David knows this entity as Lenny? He's gonna see it as Lenny, but everybody else is gonna see it as this other guy? And if so, what is his name? besides Shadow King, which I feel like anything you read, it's Amal Farouk, the Shadow King, or something like that. So I hope we see more of her and she doesn't just go away because they replace her character. So I'm hoping for that because I love her. I love that. As far as everything else goes, I'm kind of humored by the fact that there's a dance sequence already. In the trailer, you see Tanami's talking to David, and he's like, "What do you remember?" And it flashes to a bunch of different things, and then there's, you know, a dance sequence, or it looks like there's a dance sequence. I'm curious to find out which song they play, and if it lives up at all to, well, okay, I cannot compare it to the Feeling Good song with the Shadow King doing her little dance thing, because that was kind of impromptu and it led to something more. The actual dancing that happened inside of the mental hospital at the beginning of the season, I think was like weird Bollywood kind of something, or maybe I'm imagining that. I don't know, but it was short. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But the fact that he mentions, you know, oh, what do you remember? Dancing. It's like, okay, so you're there, Oliver's there, and Lenny's there. Of course. So I don't know. I'm basically, versus me rambling about nothing, I just want to leave that out there and say that I'm very much looking forward to season 2, and I hope to enlighten all of you with my rambling and my review of each week, hopefully within when I watch it and not like a week later. But the first episode, I'm sure, is going to be late because that following weekend is Silicon Valley Comic-Con, and I will be there, and I'm debating whether or not I want to be Lenny as the Shadow King, where she's in either the suit or Therapist Lenny. I do have the light, which is over here. See? Wait. Here it is. Oh, I have the light. It doesn't work, though. But it is also, like, 3 pounds of lantern that I have to carry around with me. So that's the only downfall. But if you're going to be around at Silicon Valley Comic-Con in the next 2.5 weeks, I'll be there. Look for me. This is really hard to forget, I guess, even if like this much of my face shows in a costume from what I hear. So anyway, there it is. And until the next review where I can be all spastic again, this is all I got.